Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 6:36, April 17th, 2025, the Cobb Area Council meeting. And we could do a roll call.
Yeah, Kathy McCarthy.
Here.
Chris Nettles.
I'm here.
Darlene Warner, I am here. Jake Strickler is absent. Yes.
I set the mics up because you guys never bring them close to 7, so you could use
Oh, am I talking too loud now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to anticipate that you guys are being good now. I believe you.
Oh, how's testing? 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Okay. Joe Schneider is absent, and Paul Duncan.
Here.
All right.
Great, thanks. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you, everybody.
I was hoping for not very big
We have a pretty short agenda. I don't think there's any changes to propose.
I don't have any.
Move to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And is there anyone opposed? Okay, we have an agenda. Hopefully you had a moment to look at the minutes drafted by the crafty Darlene. Any?
Oh, I was going to say there's a copy up here. You don't have to go
There's
that
a couple
far.
copies.
I think you want to add NF, the National Fire. Yeah.
Can you turn your light up here? Left, right,
Hello. Hello. Firewise Communities, we can provide up to 1,500 per Firewise community.
Okay.
And then I also said that we may be able to do individual households after April 22nd.
Okay.
So that needs to be in here.
Individual households after April
22nd.
22nd?
22nd.
Okay.
And then there's one other one here. Because I didn't want anybody like mobbing me when I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it.
Motion to approve the amended minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Okay, we have minutes. Don't. Okay. All right, time for short announcements. This just be, very short for the good of the community, and then we'll have a 3-minute session on short comment to follow.
Hello, my name is Robert Stark. I'm the president of the Mountain Lions Club. I am just reminding everybody that this Saturday, the 19th, will be the egg hunt at noon at the Belmont Pines, Rob Roy, Black Rock, Hobarts, Forest Lake, et cetera, et cetera. Rob Roy, don't let me leave them out. We prepared 2,200 eggs. It will take approximately 12 minutes for them to pick them up. So anybody who has kids out there, you want to bring them, please bring them down, but please be there at 12 o'clock. Because every year we have the same thing happen. They get there at 12:15 and there's no eggs left. And that was 1,600 last year in 12 minutes. So, word to the wise, we welcome everybody. We have various age groups. We have age-appropriate eggs for toddlers, infants, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 11. You know, we've tried to do our best. We have games before and whatnot. So if you want to come down, bring your kids down. People usually start arriving at about 10:30 and lining up, and so we have activities for them. So thank you, and we have the bunny. And I would imagine that we'll lose the bunny costume again this year, as we do every year. Somewhere with socks and handkerchiefs, there's a bunny, several bunny outfits that are out there in nature. Anyway, that's what's happening. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. Any other comments? Or, sorry, short announcements. All right, now we can open up to public and board comment on a non-agenda item. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? We got you. Oh, you can? Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm rising today to talk a little bit about what's going on for my household. Our kilowatt charge at our house now is $1 a kilowatt. We're being penalized for putting solar in. We put more than we estimated, and because of that, last month they took over 700 kilowatts from us just right off of our property. It was 20 cents a kilowatt in November of 2020 when our governor was at the French Laundry with the lobbyist for the state-run municipal utility. He's made $2.5 million from them. He now has a mansion in Mount Tamalpais that he is enjoying, and 1 in 5 people are not paying their PG&E bill, public utility bill. So 1 in 5 people can't pay their utility bill, and they're going homeless. And we're in that situation. $1 a kilowatt will bankrupt us. It'll bankrupt all the small businesses as well, most of them who have storefronts. And so last April, we had a meeting about developing the community. And unless we have a seat at the table with this electric power thing, you're not going to have a community. You're going to have Hunger Games, and it's going to be empty completely. So something needs to be done. And I was at a meeting with Mike Thompson yesterday, and I said, we need a seat at the table, not a facade. I don't want a YouTube commercial telling me that you're concerned. You're not concerned. You have a facade and an image to protect. I have a family to protect. I have a community to protect. And that's a public utility. And we have a governor whose fiduciary is to us, not to the public utility that's made him wealthy and making the rest of us poor. So I think that's about all I have to say. Let me just check my notes if you don't mind.
Sure.
I would say, just real quick, to compare, other utilities are averaging about 15 to 25 cents a kilowatt. We're averaging 42 to 48 cents a kilowatt. At home, we're at $1 a kilowatt. Again, being penalized for having solar. To give you some thought, 33 kilowatts equals 1 gallon of gas. So it's $33 for me for 33 kilowatts at my house. It would be $5 to run my house with a gallon of gas. I'm better off putting a diesel generator right outside my house and running on that. It's cheaper. And just to give you an idea, 15 cents a kilowatt is the cost of a gallon of gas right now. That's the equivalent. 15 cents a kilowatt, that's what SMUD is paying. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Any other comments or non-agenda items? Okay, I think we can move forward to Jessica Peiska, Supervisor.
So let's see. I have a lot of updates, but I just want to ask Greg, have you ever called in for the CPUC hearings?
I haven't.
You might want to do that, the CPUC hearings. So, PG&E is looking for another rate hike right now.
Well, I would say they're going to $1 a kilowatt. We are the spearheads of that. We're the trailblazers. And like so much of what's happening, we've been dealing with spearhead for 6 years, and I know a lot of people aren't dealing with it. We're dealing with it head on. It's right in our face, right? It's like, here you are.
Yeah, so they're looking at another increase for next year. So the reason I bring this up is because I get asked to go to CPUC hearings, and I've sat through them before, and I was trying to find on their agenda when they're going to be talking about this, because I've just seen the news articles talking about it, but I don't know when it's on their agenda. But that's a place where you can look, and you can also show up for public comment. I've been at public CPUC meetings where there's 2 hours of public comment. But the commissioners have to sit through it and listen to it all. And I think that would be a really good place for you to vocalize your concerns. The commissioners need to hear it. They're the ones that make the approvals. And also, have you talked to the state electeds too? Like in Senator McGuire's office and Assemblymember Aguirre?
Letters, but I haven't heard back from them.
Okay. So they have field offices that you can call too. So the field office for Cecilia is in Napa. She shares an office with Mike Thompson, so the staff is there. You can call there and talk to their staff. And you can also call the Ukiah field office for Senator McGuire. Rhiannon is there. I think she goes back and forth between Santa Rosa. So I would definitely talk with those legislators, and then also just show up at all the CPUC meetings. I'm serious. Like, I've sat through and listened to a lot of people that do that every time, and they're the ones that really need to hear it. And this other rate hike that they have to approve too. Because you're right, it's crushing everybody. And that leads me to my next point is that so Sonoma Clean Power is a nonprofit that's been operating out of Sonoma County, and they have a lot of the cities in Sonoma County and also Mendocino County. They're not an investor-owned utility. They're a nonprofit, and they have a portfolio of clean energy. If you go on the website, you can see what their portfolio looks like. It's a lot of geothermal, solar, wind, a little tiny bit of nuclear, and then I think there's a queso slice too. So years ago, the county wanted to participate with the community choice aggregate. That's what Sonoma Clean Power is. And it wasn't feasible at that time for us to join Sonoma Clean Power. But things have changed with the grid and their portfolio, and they are looking to expand into Lake County and both cities here. So we had a presentation on Tuesday with them. I've been their liaison since 2021, so we've had a lot of conversations about how this could work in Lake County. Essentially, they rent PG&E's infrastructure, so there's no change in infrastructure, but they would be the provider. But you could opt out if you wanted to go back to PG&E, and they do offer 2 different plans depending on if you can really afford it. If you want to have like a greener energy portfolio, you can pay like $30 a month more for that. But over last year, they provided a 7% savings from the PG&E customers. So it looks like this year, 2025 will also be around that. It's hard to predict much further than 1 to 2 years out, but it's an option that we need to look at. We owe it to everybody here who's suffering. All of us are feeling it. Our businesses are feeling it, and it's making life miserable, as Greg has pointed out to us again. So on Tuesday at our board meeting, we gave direction to approve a feasibility study with Sonoma Clean Power to see if we can join. What that looks like is over the next several months, their board will, they will work on the feasibility study and then come back to us. And if we get it approved before January 1st, then, so by the end of 2025, if everything is a go and they get all the approvals in place, we could start to see that service by next summer. May, June, hopefully, I don't know. Again, it's a little far off. There's a lot of things that need to happen, but it's something that we all recognize we have to do. And I think it will help a little bit. Who knows what it'll look like down the road, but I just wanted to let you all know that that is something that we're working on, take really seriously, and hopefully it will offer some relief. And we will hopefully get to use some of the energy that is generated in our county, which we have never been able to use before. So that's good. With that, there is, they have geothermal in their portfolio. They would like to expand geothermal in our county. That's a little ways off and not required that we do that to participate in Sonoma Clean Power. So I just want to put that on all of your radars. Go look at their website, do some research, read up about them. But there are several cities in Sonoma County that that have been using it, I think 10 years. I think it's been about a decade. Has it been 10? Yeah, okay. Our researchers are in the house. Okay. So, yes.
Just wanted to tell everyone that you can go to Lake County PEG TV YouTube channel and watch the Board of Supervisor meeting. And I'm telling you, it is worth your time to watch this whole, it's going to open your eyes.
Yeah, the CEO did a presentation. Our admin staff has been working with them. And again, these are conversations that we've been having for years. It was just, this is the right moment where we can take advantage of it. All fingers crossed. And then going back to CPUC, AT&T is trying once again to get out of maintaining their infrastructure of the landlines, which we know in counties like ours, that is our critical infrastructure. We don't have adequate cell coverage. We don't have adequate broadband. I don't have to tell anybody in this room why we need our landlines. So for the second time, I participated in their workshops. We had a workshop here at Twin Pine, I think it was 2 weeks ago, talking about rural counties and the need to maintain this critical, essential infrastructure and services. So I was on a panel with other rural county supervisors. The panel before me was public safety. So our sheriff, the Ukiah sheriff, and there was someone else on that panel, talked about it from a public safety point of view. So I think we hit it pretty hard again. I feel like I'm getting to know the commissioners pretty well on this. They're getting used to hearing all of my stories on why this is important. But that is the kind of information that they want to hear, Greg. And one of the commissioners comes here regularly, and they really want to hear the impact well, I'm sure they want to hear about the impact for PG&E on your business and on your home life. So I just encourage you to participate. And if anybody wants to participate with CPUC, just do it. It's an open meeting, and they put several hours aside for public comment, and they hear from people all over the state on all kinds of things. So last week, we finalized the contract for $5.1 million for 16 miles of roads in Cobb.
Excellent news.
So that's starting in May. 4 to 6 weeks from last Tuesday. So projected start in May. So we're really excited about that. I'm going to leave most of the carbonizer update to Chief Duncan, but I will say on the county side, with the addition of a second carbonizer, we're not allowing more logs to be added to the site. So that is one of the conditions that came down from community development. and then Paul can finish the rest of the update. Last week, we had a very long, thorough update from our staff on the impacts of the federal cuts. And I know last month here, a lot's happened since then. And a lot of the cuts to Health and Human Services and freezes have happened over the last couple of weeks that really impact a lot of our local programs. So I saw that there was a Lakeco News article about it today. I didn't read it, but was it pretty thorough?
It was pretty thorough, mainly focused on the senior centers, and mostly quoted, I can't remember her name, but there was somebody from Sonoma County as well that was there.
Sonoma County? Well, Mendocino County, maybe?
Maybe Mendocino. It was
Okay,
Mendocino.
yeah.
They quoted them, and then I think they quoted Kelseyville.
Okay. Yeah, so the Region 9 office in San Francisco, that was abruptly closed 2 weeks ago. That had all the administrative staff for the Head Start programs and the TANF programs, which is, those are our most vulnerable people. And all those programs didn't directly get cut at that moment. That's the administrative staff that processes the funding. So we have Head Start programs in our county. We have early Head Start. We have Head Start through NCO, which I'm also on that board of. And we have child care. We have the TANF, which is temporary assistance to needy families. Like all of the staff in San Francisco was terminated with no notice. And we have leases that are up. We have contracts that are up. We have no idea what's happening with the funding and how we will be able to run these programs. So there's a lot up in the air for that. For those programs, we talked also about the Older Americans Act, which was not funded with the continuing resolution in December, but then was added in the resolution that was in March. But looks like it's going to be left out of the new budget that they are building through reconciliation. And that is where we get funding for our senior centers, Meals on Wheels. So we're just trying to understand things and as much as we can and be proactive and plan. It's really a difficult time. Things are changing every day. So if you want a thorough understanding, it's about an hour and a half, I think, a presentation from our staff that is just talking directly about the, what they're working through. So it's a very realistic presentation, wouldn't you say? You guys were there. Yeah. So stay tuned on that. We've given direction to all of our department heads to let us know whenever things are coming down that we need to be aware of. If federal funding is in jeopardy, there's a lot of state programs that are funded federally that flow through the state. So it's really complicated, and there's a lot at stake, especially in our county where 54% of the people here are on Medi-Cal. And we have a lot of food insecurity. So when those food bank cuts happen to Redwood Empire Food Bank, the Gleaner seems to be okay right now. Like, those will all trickle down to our families. And we know this facility provides a lot of food to the people that live in our community. The Lions, they work very closely with the Gleaners. This is a very real problem for the people that live in our county. So just encourage you to donate to the Gleaners. You can donate to Redwood Empire Food Bank, but just be aware that anything that goes to them is spread out all over the counties that they serve. The Gleaners, everything that goes to the Gleaners stays here in our county. And I just saw that they were looking for some volunteer drivers for a couple shifts a month. What's that?
And donations.
Yeah, always donations. We're trying to set up a way for them to get donations electronically, because right now you have to either go by there or drop off a check or mail a check. And by the way, on Saturday from 10 to, I think it's 9 to noon or 10 to noon, they're doing a food drive. So you can go by there in Findlay, drop off food, drop off money. Money is great because it goes further. Don't drop off expired food. People do that a lot. It's not helpful. So, I mean, this is just really a time when we have to look to help each other because we don't know what's coming and we know that people are already hurting, right? Because we already have really high expenses with our utilities, with our insurance, with the cost of food. And so any loss of services will hurt the people that live here. So, any questions or, okay. Robert? Or just go to the microphone.
Hi, Tom Lasik. I want to cycle back on the Sonoma Clean Power, which I did a lot of the research there, and I do think that it is definitely something that this community and county should take a serious look at because there's a lot of potential. In addition to the 7% reduction that they had last year, if you have solar, for example, they offer a better buyback rate than PG&E does. Okay, and they also have other programs that to help communities. All the money comes back into, it's a nonprofit, so everything comes back into their area. So it's I personally cannot stand anything that begins with PG&E, those letters. It is a monopoly, it's not fair. There are quite a few community choice aggregates around the state, more than you think, and they tend to all provide a better service and at a lower rate and cleaner. Sonoma Clean Power, I think it's 88% clean power. And as Supervisor Pyska mentioned, if you want, you can ask for 100% clean power. You pay a little extra, but it is already pretty clean, cleaner than what PG&E offers. So I think that is worth looking into. The geothermal conversation, I think they spent about half an hour on that, and as you mentioned, that it's a separate conversation for a separate day. I just hope it's not linked to us having the opportunity to join that community because I do think it is crushing people with the current rates. I've known personally of people that, and you mentioned it I think in the meeting, that businesses said, you know, I got the customers, I got the product, I got everything I need, but I can't afford to keep the lights, literally cannot afford to keep the lights on. All right, that hurts our economy, it hurts our community. On the other topic about the food insecurity, as just a suggestion or idea, is there some way that the county can offer incentives for communities, especially the people that, for example, go to provide food at the farmer's market to maybe somehow incentivize them or mobilize them to provide food in this time of uncertainty because, as you pointed out, it's affecting everybody. And I'll just leave the rest to you.
Yeah, you can use the ESB at the farmers markets, but that might be going away if SNAP gets cut.
Hi. As you know, this morning the food giveaway is here for Cobb, 48 families. And there was some consternation a couple of weeks ago down at the Gleaners. And I don't mean to ask you to reiterate over and over again, but my hearing's not that good. But there is a group of people who wanted to have Lake County have its own food bank versus the Redwood Food Bank, and the Board of Supervisors voted that down. And of course, as is normal in Lake County, you only get 25% of the story and 75% of opinion. And I was wondering if you could just clear up how that happened.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's all a rumor.
Yeah.
The Gleaners is our food bank. They have the contracts. They are our food bank. The Redwood Empire also provides food here. But the Gleaners, that's our food bank.
Good. Oh, great. Just trying to figure out, you know how it is. You hear stuff and,
You know, last year we had a presentation with both of them because they were both struggling with donations, and so they both came to our board meeting, and we ended up giving them quite a lot of our discretionary money through donations to give them that support. Gleaners, you know, we just really need to. They're almost all volunteers.
oh, yeah.
And they're elderly.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of there's no young people volunteering there. So, I mean, I think Bev was in her 90s volunteering 6 or 7 days a week before she retired.
Well,
And we're looking at this across the board on all of our nonprofits, right? Because the generation that has the time to volunteer is older, and the generations that are, you know, my generation is much smaller. So that's why we're seeing this drop of volunteerism in a lot of these nonprofits and community groups, is because we don't have the numbers to be able to fill in when people, you know, are not able to volunteer anymore.
Well, we're
We have a
good
question
here.
on Zoom.
We, you know, we give 48, but you can only expand by 12s. So we would like to do more, but we get 48, but in order to move up, we have to go to 60. Well, we can't guarantee for that food to be distributed, you know, so,
We might see that happen
yeah,
sooner than later.
yeah.
Okay, we have a question on Zoom. Mel, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? I don't think I am muted.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I see a green level, so you can hear me in the room?
Dang it. Go ahead.
Sea level, I don't... Can you hear me yet?
Not very well, but go ahead.
Okay, let me turn my gain up. Okay. For the previous speaker, my ears perked up with the Sonoma Clean Energy buyback. Is that better than NEM 2 or NEM 3, or does that matter?
Yeah.
What was that, Tom?
I think is that Mel?
That's Mel, yeah.
Yeah.
Mel, I think if you want to check out their website, you'll probably get your
Figure it out.
your
Okay.
questions answered, and you could also watch the presentation from the board meeting on Tuesday.
Okay,
But
great.
Tom has something to add.
Yeah, hi. So I went way down the rabbit hole on this. So what they do is there's a standard buyback rate, and whatever that is, and it varies year to year, season to season, Sonoma Clean Power gives an extra 1 cent. So if it's 3.5 cents this month, they'll offer 4.5 cents for the power. If it's 2 cents, they'll offer 3. So that's how it's set up. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you all done?
There's no more questions. I'm done.
Thanks, Jessica. Anyone else have any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you, Jessica, once again for being here and giving us the 411 on what's going on down at the supervisors meetings. And Paul Duncan, waiting patiently.
Always waiting patiently. A reminder that Boggs Forest is still closed to vehicles to May 1st. We have road construction going on, a lot of heavy equipment up there, so we're not allowing vehicles onto the forest. Still open to walking, pedestrians, hiking, but no vehicles. On the 25th, there will be an open house for the South Lake County Fire District. That'll be at Station 60 on Highway 175 in Middletown from 10 o'clock till 3. And on the ACI air curtain burner, air curtain incinerator, I'll be having 2 drop-off days coming up. This Saturday at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock will be a community drop-off, and then next Saturday, 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So we'll be having community drop-off, so materials, no needles, no leaves, no poison oak, nothing bigger than 6 inches diameter, so pretty much brush. We'll take Scotch broom, we'll take blackberries, we'll take any of that, but
No needles, no leaves?
no needles, no leaves. The air current burner doesn't like that, so we don't feed it to them.
And what were the 2 dates on those again?
That will be this Saturday at 10 o'clock,
Okay,
and then next Saturday also at 10 o'clock, only for 4 hours.
10 to 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
That air curtain burner is leaving May 1st. It's been allocated to Lassen County and will just be disappearing from us, headed north. So we're trying to get those burn days in to that. The carbonizer operations, as Jessica said, we've added, Earth Foundries has added a second carbonizer down there. So if you drive by, it may look like 2 dumpsters on fire instead of the 1. It is very impressive at night to drive by. It looks like some Roman candles going off, but they do have fire suppression at scene. They're wetting things down. We've been pretty good with escapes, but as the grass dries out, it becomes more of a concern. And that was the May 1st cutoff. Was mainly due to that is residential burn cutoff, and we just made it that. There is potential that they may continue past May 1st, but they will go with that'll be a request from them to do that. But I think we'll hit the target. They're running 24 hours a day with those 2 carbonizers and the air curtain burner. So they're making some good progress. I will post up on Facebook about biochar. There is going to be biochar available from Earth Foundries, currently only in a 4x4x4 sack, which is 1,200 pounds. So it's you have to be committed if you want some of this biochar. Inez, I need you to come to the mic because I can't hear you. Okay, all right. What we're doing next couple days, we'll be dropping off 2 of those totes over at the Middletown Garden. So if you want just a 5-gallon bucket of biochar, you can come over there, bring your shovel, bring a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket, fill it up off the biochar bags that are over there, because not everybody wants 1,200 pounds of biochar. But I'll put that out as a sign up on Facebook, just a distribution. They just want to know where it's going, what it's being used for. There is construction going on at the Cobb Fire Station, so if you drive by, you'll see fencing out front. The driveway's being replaced. Thanks to Cobb Water, they've been assisting with, the water main runs right underneath the apron out there. We excavated out and had a little bit of a water leak, so there's new line run right beside the old, and we should be pouring concrete in the next probably a couple days at there. The station is still open. I encourage anybody that needs 911 service, call 911. They'll be able to respond out of that station, but it's just apparatus is not going over that area.
Okay.
Yep, and I'll take any questions. Cool.
Community garden.
Okay, and as asked where the biochar will be distributed, it'll be at the community garden over next to the Geysers Visitor Center. Yep, and there should be 2 sacks kind of the east side of that fence. And the community is welcome to pick those up.
And Paul, the Bike Monkey Race is on May 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Yes.
it is.
I don't,
Oh, you don't have the
No,
answer. Okay, the Bike Monkey Race is on May 3rd.
okay.
It's the 20th anniversary. So the Road 500 will be open for that. We'll have a lot of people showing up on that Friday night, and you should come. It's incredible. They race for 8 hours, starting at 8 a.m., and they do laps until 4 p.m. And Bike Monkey has done so much for the forest. They've planted thousands of trees. They've donated money for trails. They're a really great partner. So just come and see, because it's very impressive. I will be there. I'm going to volunteer on Friday and check people in. And I think my family's probably racing. So.
Probably.
Yeah, it's fun.
We'll have first aid there. So, and also the Boggs Helitack is staffed. So if someone has an injury, they can go up to the Boggs Helitack. or the ambulance that'll be there at scene. Cool.
And they also have cool merchandise that you can order that reflects Boggs Mountain and
And Friends of Boggs
Friends of Boggs.
has a booth, and they, it's one of their fundraisers too.
It's just fun. Come hang out. Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Welcome.
Chris, a treasurer's report, please.
So since the last meeting, we've had two transactions, our sort of normal two, which is $300 for our rent for these meetings and our $148 rent for our storage unit. So that leaves us with an operating budget balance of $22,157. We have about 5 accounts that we use for operations, the general fund and BlackBerry, Cobb Alert Net. There's an emergency preparedness fund, and we are the financial sponsor for the Sculpture Jam, which has a little bit of money in it. If you're interested in the specifics, dollar amounts for any of those accounts, please come up and grab one. I'm not going to bore you with lots of numbers. So $22,157 is what we have on hand for operations. We also have the $48,000 small business loan fund that's still sitting there. So we have $70,239 in net assets. Happy to entertain any questions. Or not entertain them.
I have a question, Chris.
Yes.
Did I ask this last year? Are you guys doing anything to let businesses know? Oh, you know, sorry. Thank you. Well, thanks, Chris. Is there anything being done to reach out to businesses to let people know? Because I don't know that businesses know that this organization has one, so there might be, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would think that there might be some businesses that might be in a position to want to use the funds.
Yeah, I think we have not reached out directly to businesses on this because the fund isn't really in operation as a loan fund right now. We don't have a committee that can review applications, nor do we have criteria associated with what we would loan money for. So setting that up is something that needs to happen, and I would be willing to partner with any group of people that wanted to help set that up. I just don't want to do it by myself. And that's kind of the issue, is when when a meeting is called to do something like that, I'm often the one that shows up. So if you have any ideas about anyone who would be interested in thinking through that and how we might do it and serving, I mean, it's going to require some effort because somebody has to serve on a committee to put together the criteria and then potentially be part of a group of people that decides who it goes to under what conditions. And I think one of the things that we could conceivably do is, originally it was conceived as a low-cost loan program, and it was done right at the beginning of the pandemic when lots of no-cost money hit, loan money hit businesses. I think we could consider probably doing something like a grant rather than a loan to just distribute the money, but we need to talk through that. So I think there are lots of options there. It's just a matter of getting a group of people together and maybe a group of businesses together that might be interested in running a grant program or loan program. Elliot, do you have anything to add to that? Because you were really responsible for helping to pull this together. Did I articulate that appropriately?
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're competing with zero. Okay, you're right. Basically, we had initially thought that, gee, we could offer this at 2%, and that was not attractive during COVID.
It was not.
And since that time, I mean, we actually had a professional loan a person managing that. We gave, I think, 3 or 4 local businesses loans during that time. And that's all I would have to add to what you've said.
Yeah, thank you. So does that answer your question? Yeah, yeah. No, are you interested? Okay.
I'll do a little research.
Well, yeah, I'll come down and chat with you anytime. Yeah, I'd love to help.
I'll just add that to the agenda for May, that we can have a more formal discussion about it and set up a formal committee. I like that. Yeah, because it's been weighing on me too. I know I'm not the only one that it's just been, needs to be more useful. All right, thank you, Chris. Committee reports. It's like Christmas season, but for Firewise. It's that time of year. And Magdalena's purposefully making her way to the microphone.
So I'm pleased to say that we have, I think all 6 of our active Firewise communities have already applied for that money. We have 2 that have actually completed the work, but only one, but the second one completed the work today, so I don't have their invoices yet. But it looks like we are going to have some money left over. So I would like to, I will open that up to Cobb residents when I can see some actual final numbers. But we're very happy to help, and we found out that we're actually one of 12 organizations in the country that received this grant, the only one in California. And I hope they think of us again next year. But we're gonna keep meeting because nobody wants to wait for fire. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna keep doing it.
Magdalena, we're going to do our annual proclamation on May 6th.
Okay.
At the board meeting, so if you want to let everybody know if they want to come and participate or not.
All right, so that's, you're talking about the proclamation of the county's proclamation.
The county's, yeah.
May being the preparedness month for the county. Yeah, that's something for all of us to take advantage of. It's the one time in the year when people can come together and just talk fire a little bit, talking good fire and preventing bad fire, because we need both.
Huh? Oh, okay. Communications Committee, that would be Mel. Is he still online?
Yeah, he's still there.
Great.
Go ahead, Mel.
Hello, am I audible?
I mean, we can hear you. It's a...
Zoom is.
Never mind, that
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I want to make sure everybody hears because more than a report, I have a commercial. Am I audible? I see confused looks. Okay, good. Thank you, Paul. So we can duplicate last month's report from the minutes, and for this commercial, I have an acronym WORO, W-O-R-O, which is Winter's Over, Radio's On. And I will confess, I have not been listening to the scanner all winter. My radio is going on and will be on more, and I invite everybody to do the same. We have a backbone of people who are on our check-ins, but we want to hear from more people and know that their radios are on. Batteries in people's radios may be 8 years old now, so we test them every Wednesday at 6:30 to make sure it's working, that people get alerts. The alerts are working for those who have their radios on, but if your radio's not on, you don't get an alert. So join us on Wednesday. If you have questions, cobbalertnet@gmail.com. You don't have to check in every week. It could be once a month, but you want to make sure that that radio is working. And the alert channel is quiet, so you can keep your radio on all day The people in the background are listening to the scanner. You don't have to. You just listen for a real test, or a real event or a test. That's all I have to say. WORO, W-O-R-O. Winter's over, radio's on.
Winter over, radio's on.
All right. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
Okay. Forest Health Committee.
All right, just the good news and bad news. Bad news, we still haven't heard anything about loosening up our federal grant. So that's kind of, we're feeling a little hamstrung. Good news is that at the Forest Steward Committee meeting last month, everybody there agreed, we're going to try and do this anyway. We're going to take whatever we, recognize we have real resources, real capacity, and knowledge and experience here in the Cobb area. So we're going to actually kick off the formal development of the Cobb Community Wildfire Protection Plan, basically doing it on our own until we can get the federal backup to do that. We've had already a couple of great helpers pitch in. Thanks to CAL FIRE particularly for offering to back us up on one of the key skills we're going to need, which is developing a geographic information system. So we'll be able to have one of those online maps that will show all of our the fruits of our work. And CAL FIRE has offered through their through our friend Chief Wink and their fire prevention unit down there to basically loan us or have second to us one of their GIS specialists who will be up here in Cobb working with Richie, who is going to be training and all that. And so we're going to be building our geographic information system. Secondly is thanks to Jake and the Jake Strickler and the Strickler family, we are going to be holding a Cobb Forest Summit on June 7th at Whispering Pines. We basically just finalized this last week. So if any of you get our SSCRA newsletter, you'll see it coming out. We just kind of ginned up our poster. The posters will be going up. We'll have speakers. We'll have some music. We'll have some food, and basically going to get together a little, confabulation about the future of the forest here in Cobb, both from a fire perspective as well as an ongoing sustainability perspective. So thanks to everyone who's been participating in the Forest Stewardship Committee. We meet every last Friday of the month at from 4 o'clock to 5:30. We always start on time, we end on time, and we're at the Loch Lomond Firehouse. So everybody's welcome to come, particularly, if you've got forest properties. We're particularly interested in talking to large property owners, although it's become clear that we've got a kind of a two-pronged approach we're going to be taking on the CWPP. One, since we are in a forest community, is looking at the large forest tracts, particularly talking with the large forest owners, but then, which has got a whole kind of strategy we'll have to address that, but then recognizing that for the residential subdivisions, that's another whole but different kind of conversation. And further good news is that we really do know what needs to be done to protect our residential subdivisions from being destroyed, even in the case of a wildfire. There's been so much learned over the last 10 years that we want to basically, this will be part of a kickoff campaign to really bring all of our residential neighborhoods up to latest best practices, and a lot of it being demonstrated by the kind of home hardening program that Jessica and the county have been able to demonstrate out in Rivieras. We want to bring that here, making sure that at least everybody knows what what to do to keep us safe. So, thanks. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you. Development?
I will defer to the Cobbler Festival Committee.
Cobbler Festival Committee is having its next meeting on April 30th at 6 p.m. this time at Belmont Pines Golf Course. We'll probably meet outside on the porch what we usually do. If that changes, I'll put a post online about that. For everyone here to know, if vendors are wanting to know how to sign up, they should only contact me, Kathy McCarthy, or Jennifer Gata from Bottle Rock Candle Studio. There's no other person to talk to. So, you know, that's fine. Or best to go to really best to go to the Facebook page for the Blackberry Cobbler Festival presented by Cobb Area Council. It's a mouthful, but it's all together on one page. And so like when people go out and say, when do we know about the Blackberry Cobbler Festival on some other page, just sort of wondering, that sort of invites the urchins to start looking to scam people. So anyway, just direct them to us. There's no other person to go to. And there'll be an email sent out to vendors who, previous vendors and potential vendors coming up between now and the end of the month. And the online sign up really worked like a charm last year, and we're going to continue that again.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything you can think of?
Was that at 6:30?
6.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
Okay. That's it for the Blackberry Cobbler Festival.
Sponsor letter too is.
Sponsor letters are imminently being sent out. We do already have some verbal affirmations from
Calpine
and Sutter Health.
Yeah.
Who are our platinum sponsors
They'll be
last
our-
year.
yeah,
They're
top
back
sponsors.
for more. Yeah. Okay.
That's all I got.
That's all I know. Any other announcements for the good of the order? Then our next meeting is May 15th. I actually already started drafting that agenda, and then when I went to this point on the agenda, I noticed that the June meeting would be June 19th. So we might discuss if we need to change the date of that, but we'll discuss that at the May meeting. And other than that, at 7:33, we're adjourned.